Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game So I got another fun and exciting episode for you guys today, and I also have a little bit of a surprise. This is the first voiceover I am doing at the new Video Game Esoterica Studios, which is basically just a room in our new house that I am turning into a studio and game room, so expect that video soon. And if you can't tell, during my move from one house to the other, of course I caught a cold. That is what happens. But because Super Mario 64 has another PC port, Ghostship here, you knew we had to talk about it. And even though there's other Super Mario 64 PC ports out there, this one's absolutely outstanding. It is a ton of fun, and it's definitely something we're going to check out. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But honestly, I absolutely love the Nintendo 64 decomp, recomp, and PC port scene, and I've been telling anyone who will listen, 2026 is going to be an absolutely hot year for this sort of thing. Because think of it this way, it's only January 20th as of me recording this video, and we already have a Quest 64 recomp as well as a new Super Mario 64 PC port. And if you just take a look at the motion cadence on the screen here, this is absolutely fast, absolutely fluid, and looks outstanding. And honestly, it's one of those things, the more ways to play Super Mario 64, the better. And because the Render 96 version, as well as the ray tracing version, seems to defeat almost everyone who wants to build it, this is something that's going to be incredibly easy to just pick up and play. So I will leave a link in the description below to the GitHub page, and all you need to do is supply it with your definitely own a copy of Super Mario 64 ROM file, and you will be off to the races and good to go. But just be aware, this is the first version. It's been out for all of about 36 hours of me recording this voiceover, so I'm definitely sure you're going to see a lot of improvements around the edges. It's going to have texture support, mod support, and everything else either already there or coming, and I think it's going to become the de facto easiest way to play Super Mario 64 on PC. Because about a week and a half ago I did a video on Co-op Deluxe, and that is definitely multiplayer focused, but you can set up a one-person server to kind of get a single-player experience. But honestly, Ghostship here is exactly that single-player experience you've been looking for on PC. We are definitely lucky to have something like that. And I will say right off the top, this thing basically supports whatever you want to do. Whatever frame rate, whatever control scheme, whatever aspect ratio you want, you can do it. You can go 4:3, you can go 16:9, you can go ultra wide. The sky basically is the limit. And this absolutely looks stunning. And again, I feel like this is really going to be useful for people in the future, especially those parents out there, because I do get you in the comments saying, I've been trying to get my kids to play N64 games, but they aren't really into them. Something like this just absolutely modernizes it. Now you might notice on Mario's shadow, every once in a while you'll see a little bit of a flicker. I think that's just kind of the fact that it's running at a higher frame rate than it is expecting, so every once in a while you might see a little bit of a visual glitch or aberration here. But in my time playing this, in my spare time, which has been minimal because of the move, it has been absolutely stunning. And big thanks to Kilter Music for the capture on this one. He's been helping me out while I broke down my studio and basically rebuilt it. I'm about halfway done, but trust me, you're going to see a video because I got a lot of fun ideas as to what we're going to do here. But this is just going to be such a big part of 2026. These PC ports and recomps keep coming faster and faster, and because there is a very efficient tool set as far as how you actually get these done now, you're going to see a lot more of them quicker. And that kind of is how these things happen. Someone comes up with an idea, they do it, a community forms and basically gets an entire tool chain together so that they can more effectively do these. If that name Ghostship sounds familiar, it's from the same team, at least as far as the toolset is concerned, from a lot of the other N64 PC ports. And that again just shows how far the community is really going to drive these things forward in the future, and how many N64 games are going to be available on PC. Now I am just guessing, but I feel like in the next 10 years, by the time it's 2036, you may have the entirety of the N64 library playable across every PC out there. I could be wrong, I could be right, I could be optimistic, but it really is what I'm hoping to see. You leave me a comment down below and you tell me, what's the one game on N64, if you could snap your fingers and make available on PC today, what would it be? My answer is always Bomberman Hero, and it definitely isn't going to change. Let's go into our first of two soundtrack samples so you can get an idea what Super Mario 64 sounds like in this version of the PC port, and honestly, it's going to be about the same as it sounds in any PC port, but it is absolutely iconic music, and it's something I always do, the soundtrack sample. So 45 seconds to come back, I'll talk more about where this is, and where I hope it goes in the future, but enjoy because it is good. I mean, absolutely iconic music, and it sounds no different here coming out of Ghostship. What I would really love to see out of some of these N64 PC ports in this engine, I have no idea if it's planned, but it is something that I'm sure could be possible, would be VR support. I want to play Super Mario 64 in some sort of diorama mode where it really looks like you're looking down on a tiny Mario. I want to be able to play Star Fox 64 the same way. I think it would be a really fun treat for a few of us out there that actually do enjoy VR gaming. Now, I don't expect this to happen. It is kind of just a wish list, but you tell me down below in the comments if you could just basically make these PC ports have one feature they don't have yet. Which one would it be? I would be really curious because there's so many different options you have out there, but I would love to see Luigi brought into this, and honestly, I don't expect this to happen either, but I'd love to see B3313 in the actual PC port. If you never played that ROM hack before, it's basically Haunted Mario where you have your own companion AI that makes the game completely horror-filled. Now, again, there's basically so many options out there as to what this could do, but it is basically the first 48 hours, so don't expect a whole lot of that to start. But you know, in the next 6 months, year, 2 years, people are going to take this thing and absolutely run with it. But look at Mario running around here with his wing cap on. The fluidity in the camera movements really is where this thing excels. You can just see how many more frames you're getting here and how much smoother the gameplay truly is. Every once in a while it seems to drop a few frames, but again, it is just basically its first release. But this is one of the smoothest Mario experiences you're ever going to have, and honestly, even though Super Mario 64 has a good frame rate on N64, getting more frames per second are always going to make everybody happy. And that really is where these recomps and PC ports come in, because so many games on N64 that just absolutely do not have a playable frame rate anymore in my experience. Stuff like Body Harvest, stuff like Shadowgate 64, I would love to see them run at a higher frame rate so that you end up in a situation where you don't really feel like you're watching a slideshow play, and that is going to be a huge benefit in the future. But you leave me a comment down below and you tell me what's been your favorite recomp or PC port so far on the N64 side of things, and I expect absolutely everyone to answer Quest 64. Clearly N64's greatest game ever made. But Mario is such an iconic game, it really isn't surprising that people continue to port this thing to basically anything they can. Just recently we saw the Super Mario 64 port to PlayStation 1, now we have a new PC port to go along with Render 96, the ray tracing version of the game, as well as Co-op Deluxe. So I totally get there's been ways to play Super Mario 64 on PC already, but honestly Ghostship is becoming one of my favorites just because it absolutely focuses on the single player experience and doesn't really leave a lot of other features there. But one more soundtrack sample, because again, the music is incredible, and Kilter definitely made some good jumps, credit to him. So 45 seconds and I'll be right back with just a little bit more Super Mario 64. The best part is this will never cease to amaze me just what the N64 retro community as well as the retro gaming community in general come up with. We are in for a very bright future, and soon I'm going to have a video talking about the fact that we are in a new golden era of retro gaming and you just really haven't noticed it yet. But it went from going to something like we had one decomp or one recomp or PC port every couple months to now I at least have enough content to make one video a week on the subject. It's one of those things. Think about the era in which all the software emulation devices and all of the different emulators are being made, and then you realize that we're kind of in that same situation right now. You're going to be seeing rapid innovation time and time again as far as all this fun stuff happens, and that is going to be incredible. You can clearly see the camera got a little tripped up there, but that could be something that actually works on real N64 as well. So if you know about that, leave me a comment down below. And trust me when I say there's going to be a lot more PC ports and recomps coming your way in 2026. Some of you maybe have seen previews about, and some of you have no idea are in active development, because it's one of those things. So many different teams, so many different developers are working on so many different things at once. I think you're probably going to see at least another 8, maybe even 10 PC ports and recomps for N64 games in 2026. And that's on top of the fact that we got a lot of other decomps going on with different platforms, like the Silent Hill decomp, the fact that Twilight Princess has been 100% decompiled on GameCube, and everything else in between. But the future is so incredibly bright, if you look directly at it, you're going to end up blinding yourself like a welder not wearing a mask. But that's what I got for you today from the new video game Esoterica Studio, which is really just my PC and microphone set up in my room with a lot of stuff leaning against the walls to try to get rid of echo, because it's going to take me a good long while to get this thing buttoned up exactly how I want it to be, along with the rest of my house. But I wanted to take an hour out to talk about the new Super Mario 64 Ghostship news, because you guys always expect me to make this stuff and I love keeping up with things. But now I gotta go back to unpacking the rest of the house, setting up the game room, and just kind of enjoying myself. So see you guys next time. Bye bye.